Could a regional conflict escalate into a global crisis? In a startling development, more than 300 projectiles, including around 170 drones and over 120 ballistic missiles, were launched towards Israel in a massive overnight offensive. This unprecedented barrage, originating from multiple fronts including Iran, Iraq, Yemen, and Lebanon's Hezbollah, has caught the eyes of the world. Despite the overwhelming assault, the majority were intercepted, showcasing the robustness of Israel's defense systems. With the world watching, what led to this unprecedented attack? To understand the present, we must revisit the past. The backdrop of Iran-Israel relations is a complex tapestry woven with decades of covert conflicts and overt statements, a shadow war where actions speak louder than words. This long-standing rivalry has seen numerous skirmishes and strategic moves that have contributed to a simmering tension between the two nations. At the heart of this conflict are differing ideologies and regional aspirations, with both nations viewing themselves as central powers in the Middle East. This power struggle has often spilled over into various arenas, influencing and involving multiple other states and non-state actors. One pivotal moment that escalated tensions occurred in early April, when Iran accused Israel of a bold and provocative move, bombing its diplomatic complex in Syria. This act was not just seen as a direct assault on Iranian soil, but also a blatant disregard for international norms, further souring relations and solidifying Iran's resolve against Israel. Simultaneously, Israel's ongoing conflict with Hamas has added another layer of complexity to the situation. Since October 7th, when Hamas launched attacks on Israeli soil, Israel has been engaged in a relentless battle. This conflict has not only strained Israel's military resources but has also heightened regional tensions, drawing criticism and concern from various global quarters. Iran's response has been equally formidable, with its leadership warning that its allies' attacks will not cease until Israel's military actions in Gaza come to an end. These events set the stage for a confrontation that was perhaps inevitable. As the night fell, the skies lit up with the fire of conflict. It was more than just an exchange of hostilities. It was a coordinated aerial onslaught that marked a significant escalation in the shadow war between Iran and Israel. In the cover of darkness, a staggering array of weaponry was unleashed. From the territories of Iran, Iraq, Yemen, and even from the militant group Hezbollah in Lebanon, over 300 projectiles sliced through the night sky. This formidable arsenal included around 170 drones and more than 120 ballistic missiles, each aimed with lethal intent towards Israel. The primary target of this fearsome barrage was the Nevatim Air Base, located in the southern expanse of Israel. This wasn't just any military installation, it was reputedly the launch site for a previous strike on an Iranian consulate, making it a symbolic and strategic target for Tehran's retribution. The airbase, sprawling and vital, braced for impact as missiles and drones bore down. The night was ablaze with the trails of ballistic trajectories and the ominous hum of drone propellers. Yet, as each missile arched towards the earth, the reality of modern warfare's technological face showed itself. Israel's multi-layered aerial defense systems, renowned for their precision, engaged with relentless efficiency. The Iron Dome, David's Sling, and the Arrow systems, technological marvels in the realm of missile defense, lit up the sky with their own fire as they intercepted the incoming threats. The choreography of defense was almost balletic, with the majority of missiles and drones being neutralized before they could fulfill their deadly missions. Despite the intensity of the attack, and the potential for catastrophic damage, the actual impact on the Nevatim airbase and surrounding areas was surprisingly minimal. Structural damages were reported as light, and the base remained operational. Aircraft continued to take off and land, almost defiant in the face of aggression. But what was the damage? The answer might surprise you. In the face of overwhelming odds, a defense stands tall. The night sky over Israel, typically serene, transformed into a battlefield as a barrage of projectiles hurtled through the air. More than 300 drones and over 120 ballistic missiles were launched in a concerted effort to breach Israeli defenses. From the south of the country to its central heartlands, the air was thick with the threat of destruction. Yet, Israel's response was a formidable display of technological prowess and strategic coordination. The Iron Dome, Israel's famed aerial defense system, once again proved its mettle by intercepting an astonishing 99% of incoming threats. This multi-tiered defense system, designed to track and neutralize short-range projectiles, was complemented by the advanced Arrow and David's sling systems, which handle longer-range threats and more complex attack scenarios. Support from the United States played a crucial role in bolstering Israel's defensive capabilities. U.S. naval forces stationed in the eastern Mediterranean Sea engaged aggressively with the assault, destroying between 4 and 6 Iranian ballistic missiles. Meanwhile, U.S. aircraft in the region took down more than 70 Iranian one-way UAVs, ensuring that the skies remained clear of further threats. A U.S. Army Patriot missile battery also made a critical interception near Erbil, Iraq, showcasing the depth of American involvement in safeguarding Israeli airspace. Despite the intensity of the attack, the damage within Israel was minimal. The Nevatim airbase, though targeted, sustained only light structural damage and continued its operations without significant disruption. Senior military officials, both Israeli and American, confirmed the limited impact of the attack, underscoring the effectiveness of the defensive measures in place. With the defense holding strong, what was the impact on the ground? The resilience of Israel's defense systems not only protected its citizens, but also maintained the operational integrity of its military installations, allowing the country to remain strategically stable and prepared. As dawn broke, the reality of a night fraught with potential disaster had been averted, thanks to a shield that held resolutely against the odds. The dust settles and the world reacts. In the immediate aftermath of the unprecedented aerial assault, the Nevatim airbase, despite being a primary target, sustained only minor structural damage. Operations continued unabated, with aircraft taking off and landing as scheduled, a testament to the resilience of the Israeli defense infrastructure. This operational continuity, however, belies the broader implications of the attack on regional security and stability. Globally, the reactions were swift and varied. The United States, a staunch ally of Israel, was quick to condemn the attack, underscoring its commitment to Israel's defense. Senior U.S. military officials highlighted the effectiveness of their Mediterranean-based naval assets and regional air defenses, which intercepted several Iranian projectiles. This robust response underscored the U.S. military's readiness to support its allies and maintain stability in the region. European nations expressed concern over the escalation, urging all parties to exercise restraint and engage in dialogue. Many European foreign ministries highlighted the need for a diplomatic, rather than military solution to the ongoing tensions. Meanwhile, Russia and China called for calm, emphasizing the importance of sovereignty and territorial integrity. Both nations stressed that further military actions could lead to a broader conflict, potentially destabilizing the already volatile Middle East region. In the Middle East, reactions were mixed. While some nations condemned Iran's aggressive posture, others criticized what they saw as provocative actions by Israel in the weeks leading up to the attack. The Arab League convened an emergency meeting to discuss the situation, reflecting the deep concern about the potential for a wider regional war. As these international voices chimed in, experts and analysts began to weigh the potential for escalation. Could this incident trigger a larger conflict, or would it serve as a stark reminder of the fragility of regional peace? As the global community watches, the question remains, what comes next? In the shadow of conflict, the future remains uncertain. As the dust settles on the recent confrontation between Iran and Israel, the world watches closely, pondering the potential paths this volatile situation might take. Could we see an escalation into a broader regional conflict, or might diplomatic efforts pave the way toward a tenuous peace? The possibility of escalation cannot be ignored. With both nations entrenched in their positions and the history of animosity that stretches back decades, a further intensification of hostilities remains a distinct possibility. In such a scenario, the involvement of regional powers could transform what has been a bilateral conflict into a much larger showdown, with global implications. On the other hand, there's the potential for diplomatic intervention. The international community has often stepped in to mediate conflicts in this region, seeking to de-escalate tensions and promote dialogue. The involvement of global powers like the United States, Russia, or the European Union could play a pivotal role in steering the parties towards negotiation and away from further military engagement. These efforts could be supported by the United Nations, which has a long-standing commitment to maintaining peace and security in the region. Yet, there remains the possibility of a continued stalemate. Both Iran and Israel have shown they can sustain a protracted conflict without tipping into all-out war. This scenario would likely see sporadic skirmishes and ongoing political tension, but without significant progression or resolution. Such a stalemate could continue to strain resources and stoke regional instability. As we consider these scenarios, it's crucial to remember the broader implications of the conflict. The Middle East is a complex tapestry of alliances and enmities, where the actions of one actor can ripple across the entire region. The international community must remain vigilant, ready to act to prevent a minor spark from igniting a larger fire. As we stand at the crossroads of conflict and peace, the choices made today will shape the world of tomorrow.